You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
The wheel is turning and you can't slow down. You can't let go and you can't hold on. You can't go back and you can't stand still. If the thunder don't get you, then the lightning will.
Welcome back in to another edition of My Wheelhouse. It's October 30th. I'm your host, Dennis Rodman. I'm joined by Brent Barry. What year was it? What dunk contest did you win?
1996
1996
slam dunk competition
champion.
You may remember I beat Michael Finley because I took off from the free throw line and dunked it.
High flyer.
And
Good
then
job.
Cut my lip on the rim.
Yeah, apparently, because you jumped so high. And to my left, ZZ Top, member Bill Gibbons. What's going on, Bill?
Hey, I'm really happy not to be Uncle Mike this week because I got some things to talk about that Uncle Mike couldn't possibly talk about, but Billy can.
You got some kind takes about Carmelo Anthony, maybe?
Ooh.
Maybe?
Well, close.
We'll see.
Very close. Good guess.
Okay.
Good guess.
Before we get started, we're going to do medals, as we're going to start every week. So Mike is dethroned. He only picked 8 of the games correctly. Both me and Sloan picked
How many games were there?
out of chosen, I think I did 19 this week, so it's
Okay,
pretty
11.
random. So me and Sloan both got 11 correct.
Correct. That's a lot.
High five.
But I got the tiebreaker because I picked 4 games that neither of you picked, and Sloan only picked 2.
Oh, and you're
Hey,
the
that's
host.
bogus.
And I'm the
But
host.
Shouldn't you have to tell us what the tiebreaker is before you call the tiebreaker on us?
I made up the tiebreaker as I was doing the
guess.
games.
I think we should dunk for it, but
No, okay.
Yeah. Although Rodman's a good dunker,
Yeah,
right?
great dunker, great
better
dunker.
rebounder.
He'd probably eat the rim.
Very exciting week in basketball. Celtics 4 games in a row winning streak. I'm sure we'll get to that. Other things on the wheel. You got anything? You want to say something good? You got a Trump of the week before we get going?
Well, you brought his name up, so I just got to. I know he's playing well. I know for him he's doing real well. But with 4.7 seconds left in the game against Minnesota, Carmelo comes down, hits the 3 to put him up by 2, goes into his prancing dancing with the 3 fingers to the head, oblivious to Minnesota not having any timeouts as they rush up the court. The whole team's up there on defense. Carmelo's 25 feet behind him, but got a good view of the shot. To look Wiggins 20 feet behind Wiggins as he hits the 3 to win the game.
How many times does Wiggins hit that shot from 35 feet?
How
That
many? No, you're skirting the issue here.
No, I'm not.
4.7 seconds left. Minnesota's got no timeouts. He's shooting himself in the head for the 3,
That's what he
prancing around, kissing himself in his own butt.
No, he wasn't doing that. He was going back just because he does this,
Oh, you
and he gets
guys-
hyped up
you're
after he
defenders.
hit the biggest shot
All
in
right,
the
that
game.
was Uncle Mike. You can get to Billy Gibbons when you want.
Okay,
Bill Gibbons
Billy
got some good things to say about
All right, let's get to the
Some of
wheel.
the guys.
Go.
Carmelo's having too much fun, man.
Been away. Yeah. Now he's leading the team in shots. We'll see though.
Sure, yeah. I want.
All right, so I threw a couple teams that are pretty polarizing on there. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are 3-4. They have some good wins. They beat the Celtics on opening night. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and then they beat a third team. But they took an L to I think they beat the Bulls was the other team that they beat. But they took an L to some awful teams. So they lost to the Knicks most recently. They lost to the Magic, and they lost to the Brooklyn Nets. And then their fourth loss, I forget again which one I was to. But all 3 of their losses.
The Magic.
No, I said the Magic.
Oh, you just said Magic.
All 3 of those losses to those teams were by like more than 19 points. So they're like point differential is in the negative. They look real sloppy. The funny thing is LeBron James is still performing at an MVP level. He's up
Oh, yeah,
there.
he
He's
looks
doing
amazing.
everything he's supposed to be doing. He's shooting like 58% per game from the field, and his teammates are all shooting less than 41. And it's so clear. You're losing some jewelry over there.
I lost him.
Billy, come on.
It's so clear that the rest of the
You only
team
knew
is
how
just
much that cost.
not stepping up and just not being able to help him carry over the things
little
that he's
help
doing
with ZZ
successfully on the court,
fan.
you know? But I don't know. What are you seeing from the Cavs? Do you like
Okay.
Dwayne Wade's move from the bench? Do you think they're more
First thing
efficient?
I do is I got to question this approach. You have to at this point.
Okay.
Their approach to the regular season, can we really go with that anymore? That they really don't play any defense and they kind of hang around and they're indifferent to the defensive end of the court until when? I mean, how long are they going to go with this? They're really looking bad. They play some bad games. I don't know what to say good about them at this point because I guess you can say LeBron.
You can say bad things, that's fine.
But that approach, I mean, they've got 5 different lineups in 6 games.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's pretty
They got
interesting.
Crowder on the bench now.
Crowder's played-
They moved Love back to the 4.
Crowder's played like 3 or 4 games with less than 20 minutes, and he didn't play 3 or 4 games with
One
less than
last
those
thing.
minutes all
I think
last
when you jostle the rotation that much, I think obviously it's going to come with some issues. Obviously, they're not used to having LeBron as the main point guard at all times.
So do they
It goes
miss
back
Kyrie
a lot
more than
to.
the Celtics will ever miss Isaiah?
Of course they do. They absolutely do.
I think they do. I think they miss
And
the
Cavs
3.
fans are posting about that online.
Really?
If you look on social media, because this is only the second time in LeBron's era of playing for the Cavaliers that they've been under 500.
Right.
The first time was in his rookie year.
There's no
the Cavs
excuse to
fans are
get beat by
freaking
those
out.
teams. No excuse to get beat by the Knicks. No excuse.
Well,
pounded.
You know what Shaquille O'Neal said? He said after that game, he said, well, me and D. Scott, referring to Dennis Scott, who was right next to him at the time, I guess they're best friends. He's like, D. Scott knows well that when we went out to New York games or New Jersey games, oftentimes we'd go out, have a few drinks, meet some ladies. He's like, maybe they stayed up too late because they didn't seem like they showed up. It didn't seem like an effort thing. It just seemed like they weren't even.
Right. I mean,
But is that how they
weren't
approach the
even
regular
there.
season in
I don't
general?
know. I think the loss to the Knicks was a little bit less concerning than maybe the loss to the Nets and the loss to the Magic, even though the Magic are playing well. But it's a make or miss league, and the entire Knicks roster has been playing abysmally besides Kristaps for the majority of the games. So finally it kind of came back to the mean a little bit. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 24 points in the first half. And if you look at that, just that sample size, you're like, holy moly, he's never going to do that. But if you look at that in contrast to what he's been performing all season, like he needed a game like that to really balance
people
the
get
scales,
up.
and he's still playing below what he actually
People
provided.
get up for the big teams, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the Patriots in the NFL know that. Like,
That's true.
Other
was in
teams
Cleveland.
are.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not super concerned about them, and like LeBron's already doing subtweeting and posting about it, saying I'm not
That's
concerned.
because
It's only
he's
October.
leaning on that regular season doesn't mean crap thing.
Yeah,
It's
but I
like
mean, I still, it's
it
just.
might catch up with him.
I think that the thing that we talked about before the season started is all of these new teams and bringing in major acquisitions and whatever they are, and trying to get people accustomed to playing with one another on the floor in a new style. There's going to be roadblocks and there's going to be bumps along the way, and it's going to be concerning. And
Unless you're the Celtics.
yeah,
I
but the
guess.
funny thing is, the majority of the teams haven't looked that bad in the beginning. The only teams that you could say there's some weird things that they still need to figure out are kind of the Timberwolves and the Cavs. And the Cavs, I think it makes more sense than the other ones because their acquisitions they're coming in are a little bit more rusty, a little bit old. You're not sure what they can contribute. When you're bringing in Carmelo Anthony and Paul George, or you're bringing in Jimmy Butler, even though they're kind of not meshing, you know what you're getting with those players, and it's maybe easier to scheme. And on top of that, Ty Lue is still a very, very, very below average coach. And he doesn't really know what he's doing with his rotations. People in Cleveland really try to talk him up because I think they're just trying to like convince themselves that he's doing an okay job.
They're just
but
glad not to have David Blatt for whatever reason.
I think they're equally bad. I think that he's just there because he gets along with LeBron a little bit better.
I barely even ever
Well,
see him say anything when they do those
doesn't
TV
do
timeouts
anything.
or when TNT goes in the huddle. I
Right.
barely even see him saying anything besides like your standard
The
cliches,
assist-
like you'll hear from like a 7th grade coach or
Right.
something.
Yeah. The assistant coaches are much more prevalent in the huddle. I don't know. I listened to a beat writer that went around to a couple different practices this past week, and he went to like the Pistons, he went to the Pacers, and he went to one other team in that area, maybe the Timberwolves and the Cavs. And he said of all 4 practices, the Cavs was by far the least organized and most just like kind of like haphazard. And he said that they came in and they did a little bit of 5-on-0 stuff, and then they scrimmaged for like 45 minutes, and then that was it. And then like of all the other practice, like Stan Van, he was getting wicked into his players. He was gunning at them. He was making them run a lot of running, like not even that much scrimmaging until the end of the practice. And the other ones, they were really working on like individual player development and like guard and forward drills and stuff like that. And it was like more just kind of like like really subjective to each player. You know what I mean? But what he said was the Cavs, it just Ty Lue wasn't involved, wasn't saying much, wouldn't stop if someone did something wrong, would just let it flow. And at the end, he just talked for 5 minutes and just fit in every single bit of criticism or thoughts that he had. And it just seems like he's very ineffective in his approach.
Yeah, you don't have to turn the clock back too far to the Cavs playing the Celtics and looking like world beaters. My God, did they slaughter the Celtics, huh? So they did pull it together last year with a lot of the same ingredients.
I mean, yeah,
and with Lou on the bench.
I mean, eventually they're going
That's
to be
what they're
fine.
trying. That's what they're saying they're going to do this year.
They're still my pick for the 1 seed, maybe the 2 seed if the Wizards can put it together. But even the Wizards at 4-2, the Wizards don't look like that strong of a team either in their games. So like I don't see that. I don't see any competition for the Cavs.
Jeff Green looks good. I like Jeff Green in that offense.
Does he though?
I don't think so.
Does he look at good? Does he look good at anything besides finishing
What
around
I've
the
seen
rim?
of him, I mean, he's slashing to the rim.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's doing good
Didn't
at.
do that.
I mean, he's a little inconsistent still.
He also has
but
hit. I've
he's always
seen.
inconsistent.
I forget what game it was, but he hit the side of the backboard on a corner 3 that was wide open multiple times.
Okay, maybe that's not so good.
Yeah. I don't know. I see what you mean though.
I
The
see
things that he
him
does
being-
good, those things matter and those
can
good.
see
But at the
LeBron
same
likes
time,
him.
being Jeff Green, and Jeff Green is a relatively soft player.
I agree with that. All
I
right.
don't-
Anything else to say on the Cavs?
I don't think the Celtics fans that love Jay Crowder so much are missing him so much now.
No, I mean,
don't
I've
think
always
that.
thought he was extremely overrated, and Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah,
I think
he actually was playing pretty well for the first.
There were a
3 or
lot
4
of people that
games.
were up in arms when he was a part of that trade for Kyrie.
he's the biggest piece. He doesn't look that good yet. Spin. We'll
rat.
see. I don't know. I still think that the
We'll
first.
see how they do this week.
They're getting
Things
50
change.
They're getting
Never as bad as you think you are when you're losing.
Okay, Halloween memories. So I just threw on there. We're around here. By the time you watch it, maybe it's past Halloween, maybe it's not. Obviously, we're dressed up. My Halloween memory is 2009. Manu Ginobili. There's a living live bat in San Antonio's arena.
Yes, I
It's
see
flying around. Okay, and one of the most incredible
Halloween.
displays of management in terms of mascot execution. They bring the coyote in the back room. Bring him back out. He has a Batman costume on. Within like 2 minutes of them recognizing that there's a live bat in the arena, and all of a sudden the coyote has a net and a Batman costume on. It's like perfect.
Wow.
And then they're calling timeouts and they're just having players wait on the side. And every time the bat flies past the court, they have to pause the gameplay. It delayed the game like something like 30 minutes or something like that. The coyote is running like a menace around the court. And then they're like, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna play. If the bat's a problem, then we'll address it. Before they not snap the ball, this isn't football. Before they pass the ball in, bat swoops low, Ginobili winds up, just smacks it.
Nice job.
Immediate, picks it up.
Providence College had one of them against Marquette, and they could not catch the bat.
They had a bat.
Oh,
Was it
the
Halloween?
bat came down. No, it wasn't Halloween.
That's what's crazy about the bat. It was on
Yeah, but
Halloween.
it was flying around all over the court, and they couldn't get it. They had to stop the game. They're trying to catch the thing as it's zipping and swooping through players and
Yeah,
stuff.
they needed Ginobili.
I didn't think there'd ever be another bat.
Ginobili
Ginobili got. That's why I'm impressed.
he picked it up and like brought it
They
over to
need
a
him.
trainer on the sideline. The next day, he was like, "Yeah, I had to get like rabies shots right away and stuff like that." So that was hilarious. You got any Halloween memories?
I have.
league?
I can't remember any. I mean, the league used to start on Halloween.
That's
didn't
very
it?
true. Yeah. Oh, so maybe like opening night memories. I don't know. That's what I thought
Wow.
of. Doesn't have to be a long one.
I'm just happy it's
Personal
starting
Halloween
earlier.
memories. What about
Hey,
personal?
how about
Halloween?
me?
What do you mean?
I had Halloween memories.
Give it to me. I
Oh,
thought yours was the other
spin
bat.
again.
Yeah.
No, the bat. That was not Halloween.
Okay, give it to me.
So I go to a dead show and I'm dressed like Bill Walton,
Yes.
basketball thing.
Okay.
And everybody thinks I'm Bill Walton because I got these things on, and they're pointing to me, and they're absolutely sure. All these deadheads that have no idea that they're all sure I'm Bill Walton as they're chasing me around.
Did you play along?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there with Denise, and I'm just kind of hanging there, and I can hear them talking and back at me and pointing at me, and they're coming and they're collecting and doing that stuff. So that was Halloween, and on stage they played Werewolves of London, and it was good.
Wow.
Woo!
Did you howl? That's great.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
Bill
memory.
Walton's got a half a foot on you.
Yeah. No, well, they don't know that.
No, but I had these work boots
what was
on
your costume?
with these heels on. I was about that much tall, so I might have been about 6'7". I know, but I was sitting down, and that's what I kept saying to Denise. How can they think I'm Bill Walton? And I'm going down the aisles, and they're pointing at me, and they're going.
We were wearing like a tie-dye shirt. What were you wearing?
It was 1978 Portland Trailblazers get up when he was a real hippie then,
Right.
with a headband
Yeah.
and this multicolored sweater that was a lot like his,
Yeah.
and the flannel shirt. And
Wow. So you must have like really looked like him,
Classic.
because to identify a player when they're not even dressed in any attire of like that player's
No,
team,
I
that's
had
impressive.
no team on. I didn't have any team on. It's
impressive.
But Deadheads know Bill
Right, of
Walton.
course.
And
Well, they don't know enough to know I wasn't
very
him. But they don't know enough
introspectively?
to know I wasn't him.
You were very excited.
Maybe on the East Coast.
I used to
maybe East
dress
Coast
up.
Deadheads.
maybe.
I used to dress up as Penny Hardaway one year, Grant Hill one year. I was
Yeah,
D-Rod
basketball
one
players are
year.
Great people to be.
Yeah,
I agree.
that was like my brother Logan and I dressed up every year.
Yeah, I agree.
NBA.
It's pretty easy. You
Ruled
just throw a jersey on. It's kind of a
Exactly.
cop-out. I'd rather talk about revenge games than the Memphis Grizzlies, even though it's probably on Grizzlies. All right, so revenge games. I don't know whether basically if you leave your team and then the first game that you play that team the next season or whenever the next occurrence of meeting is a revenge game. So I don't know whether or not
Boogie.
it actually is a trend of like meaning something that you perform better in revenge games. I think certain people are motivated. So revenge games that we saw this week was most notably DeMarcus Cousins, who absolutely annihilated the Sacramento Kings.
Just ask Billy about him.
Okay, Billy, what do you think about
Well,
DeMarcus Cousins? Is he
you
your favorite
know,
player, Billy?
Who's
your favorite player?
Boogie. You know?
Yeah.
So I watched that whole game. It's
a great game.
And I'm telling you, man, that I never had. This is not Uncle Mike talking. Remember? Right?
Yeah, no, you're Billy.
I never really had an appreciation for him before I watched the whole game, and I always held it against him. It was so big that he plotted everything, and then but man, he was hitting threes. He had 20 rebounds. His attitude was
23
relatively
rebounds.
good, and it was a revenge game
Oh my
against
God.
Sacramento.
It was incredible.
Nobody ever really described for sure how the fans treated him. I didn't really.
Everyone
get
cheered.
that.
They loved him.
They did, huh?
It was honestly
They said he was good
heartwarming.
in the community.
Yeah, he came out. They announced his name. Everyone was cheering. There was tons of signs. We love you. We miss you. Like
So
like
he's
wish you
moved
well.
up a notch, and he's past karma. My Uncle Mike's not talking.
Okay. This is Billy's personal.
But Billy likes Boogie.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
Uncle
he also
Mike.
likes Z-Bo, but I can't talk about Z-Bo.
I know Uncle Mike's not here right now, but Uncle Mike always talks about how slow Boogie is. But he actually looked kind of quick, especially on his first step.
He took it to the hoop a
I
couple
mean,
times.
he had some extra motivation. that
He
game
just looked
for
like a
sure.
man against boys out there. I don't know. You could tell that
he's
he's.
a good description. I'd like to see him against Embiid. I wonder how that's going to go, and I wonder
gonna be a
whether
good game.
Embiid makes him look small like he makes everybody else look small.
I feel bad for that team. I want that team to be so good, and they show signs of being good. They just don't have any shooters. They literally just need people that can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what. Del Demps, get him out of there. I like Gentry now because I'm seeing some offensive creativity that wasn't there before in the ways that he's playing. He's literally using on offense. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins play guard roles. In actions, they're pick and roll ball handlers. In actions, they're cutting more and they're not stagnant in the low in the post. They look great.
They're playing with each other pretty well too. I know
Yeah.
Davis just came back.
So it's really interesting
They're
that
finding space on the court.
The team plays their like best offensive ratings when they're both on the court together. The second best offensive rating is with Anthony Davis on the bench, and it's actually surprising with Anthony Davis in and DeMarcus Cousins out, the team is struggling more. So as far as right now, DeMarcus Cousins is contributing to winning more. And with that 41-23 game, he had 6 assists. He had a couple steals, a couple blocks. He's the number one
He
ranked.
had one rebounding sequence where he was on a pogo stick.
Yeah.
And he just kept ferociously. There were 3 guys trying to get rebounds, but he's just going up,
Just
tapping
meant
it, going up,
nothing.
going up.
Just meant nothing.
I gotta say that's effort. And Billy Gibbons talking.
Right.
Man, that's effort. Uncle Mike would say, man, he doesn't have any effort.
He's the number one ranked
So I'm
player.
watching more.
He's the number one ranked player in fantasy basketball. So it's obviously reflecting statistically what he's being able to perform.
There's supposedly an interview out with him right now that just happened. That's supposed to be it's on the NBA.com. I guess I haven't watched it yet.
Who interviewed him?
I'm not sure. It's supposed to be a revealing interview with DeMarcus Cousins.
I like
recently.
those. Good.
All right, I got another one. I got another revenge game.
There's multiple. Yeah, give me more. What else you got?
Well, the other one, I really thought the Nets coming into the Knicks at Madison Square Garden.
Knicks.
Well, yeah, and the Knicks are 0-3. They just got swamped by the Celtics.
Okay.
And the Nets have been playing. Brooklyn's been playing well, winning games.
Yeah.
New York, the papers are all over the Knicks. They're going to fire the coach. Nicky Ntilikina. See, I can say it.
Ntilikina, no T. No T.
No T.
No T.
It was
Ntilikina.
close.
He's playing. They're all over him. Get rid of him. They come in and the Knicks beat him.
Yeah.
I think that was really a setup game that was a major revenge factor to go after those guys.
I agree.
They had abandoned the Knicks for the fans and the papers had abandoned the Knicks and gone to the Nets. But then they come in and the Knicks haven't won any games. And they kicked the Nets.
If I was a resident anywhere near New Jersey or New York, I would be a Nets fan, not a Knicks fan.
But the Knicks not, and then they go beat the Cavs.
I don't care. The Knicks are abysmal to watch. They're not fun. They're not enjoyable. Their
I'm
offensive
enjoying
style is
watching
boring.
Kristaps take 27 shots.
Yeah, but it's just him. If he's not in the game,
gonna get old
I would
quick.
rather
He's shooting,
take a
catch,
nap.
and shoots. I know, and Nicky Cigarettes doesn't look bad.
He hasn't played a lot. Did you see?
I know, but that game he had 9 points and 5 assists, and he won the crowd over. I mean, he's a better answer than Jared Jack out there.
Did you see the last play of the game when the clock was expiring? As customary by players, if the shot clock is less than the game clock, suppose there's 14 seconds left, but you have like 13 seconds on the shot clock, you just hold it and get the violation, right? And then the other team gets the ball, and they can shoot it if they want. It doesn't matter. The game's over. They're up by 10 points, whatever it is. So Ntilikina had the ball on the half of the key. He was just holding it. There was 10 seconds left. Waited till it was down 1 second. Quickly passed it to someone else. So someone else got the turnover. Incredible. Incredible. I loved it. He rose to here, probably way up there. That's incredible. Awesome
Keep
move.
your eye on them. They might not be
It's
as
Dinwiddie, by the way. I know Uncle Mike's not here, but Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
He looks like the real deal.
I was right
Especially
about
against
him.
the Cavs.
Mike was right about him, man.
Mike was right.
He's had some down games in between, but yeah, he doesn't look bad.
So back to what actual revenge games are. Victor Oladipo put a big game up against the Thunder in his return. He's been great. He's averaging 25 points a game this year. He had 35 in that game. He looks like he's going to be what he was originally labeled as in Orlando, and maybe more here in Indiana because of the role that he has and because of the options that he has. You could say that maybe he's had a little bit more looser of a leash because Miles Turner's been out with, I think it's a concussion.
It's amazing that they've been able to win with him.
Yeah, so they're playing well. They're
good victories, good
right.
wins.
So they're 3-3 right now. and they don't look bad. And Sabonis is
No.
Another revenge game for Sabonis. Sabonis is like I don't know if he still is, but he was shooting league best field goal
32
percentage.
for 40.
Yeah,
He's got a 9 for 9,
Yes.
a 7 for 7,
Yeah.
and a 2 for 2.
That's what I was saying,
And
yeah.
he's also getting rebounds.
Yeah, he's playing well. He looks good. I think eventually he's going to fall off the face of the earth. But
I would think he's not going to shoot 80%.
No, yeah, but like I mean,
Because he doesn't shoot.
It's exciting to
He
watch.
shoots from outside,
It's
too,
exciting
right?
to watch. Yeah, he has range.
Yeah.
He's not that good from three, but he takes those shots. He
I like
attempts them.
that. I like who is Stevenson and Al Henderson that are coming. Al Jefferson that are coming
Jefferson.
off the bench for them, and that's pretty cool. That when they're that far down the line, that they bring those guys in, they can have an impact.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
not.
game.
I'm not that huge on him.
They'll contribute.
How crazy is it? Greg Monroe and Al Jefferson both coming off the bench these days.
That's pretty crazy.
They're scoring points.
Another revenge
when they're
game.
needed.
Yep.
Kelly can't
Oh,
back with
yeah?
the Celtics in
Oh,
Miami.
yeah.
He played well. 14 and 9. He had 3 blocks. He looks like the classic Kelly. He played only 23 minutes. He
Lost
took.
to 20 pounds. That was.
Yeah, he looks good. That's just like a
He still
staple.
looks
That's a
good.
staple of Miami Heat basketball. You go there and you just get in shape immediately. It just seems like they know how to train their
But
players.
it's a revenge game, but they didn't win.
No, they didn't. It's
So that doesn't count.
revenge games are players. Revenge games aren't teams. I appreciate and admire how you adapt whatever I'm saying is going to be on the show into what you end up
Well, you leave it
presenting.
wide open,
Right,
but-
yeah, and that makes it more exciting and more interesting.
Okay.
But a revenge game is a player going back to their former team in
Even
a game.
if they stink.
Even if they stink, that's why I'm trying to say whether or
Well,
not
Kelly didn't stink, but the Heat
quantify.
stunk.
No. But I'm saying if you get beat.
Yeah, but you
So I'm looking at it as a revenge game for a team.
no, yeah. So
So
that's not what it is.
that's how it was communicated to me. So I
Okay.
apologize.
That's okay. I don't care.
know,
But
Dennis.
revenge games.
You're getting kind of ornery over there.
Yeah, so I'm getting intense. Hopefully, I don't call it Kim Jong Un or whatever.
I'll tell you, Kelly Olynyk, I follow his Instagram for whatever reason, but
he's excited.
he posts some stuff about the Heat and about Miami, and
Yeah.
he seems like he's welcomed the transition. But I think if the Celtics asked him to come back, he'd be back in a flash.
Yeah, of course. He talked about the Celtics before he talked about the Heat. I think it might have been. It might have been.
Stevens is still helping him.
Yeah, it might have been the same interview. He said, "I've never been as part of an organization where chemistry was so tight and everyone was had another player's back, whether you were a friend with
Yep.
them or not, more than in
But
the
he
Celtics
did
situation."
say-
He was the
He
kind of
did-
guy that would volunteer
he
to
did
do like the
say
coaches and the
That
management
when
stuff
he came
too.
down
He
there,
would
there
travel
was an
with the
emphasis on
team.
conditioning in Miami that was not in Boston.
Yeah, that's because they have the
Well-
best conditioning training staff in the league.
Okay, that's good. He likes that.
Yeah, good for him. Lost 20 pounds. All right.
Hasn't got any sun.
So did Marcus
He's
Smart.
still white as
Yeah,
a
I'm
ghost.
very surprised. How is he not more tan? He lives in Miami. I understand it's kind of getting
You
towards
could put me
wintertime.
in Miami, I'd be pretty white too.
Yeah, that's true, Bent. We should have talked about the Grizzlies first one. Whatever. Yeah. We like those guys. All right.
Yeah, we like this.
After starting 0-2, 4 games in a row, we're now 4-2. I think we're around either 5 or 6 in the ESPN's power rankings. We're playing well. We got some good wins. We got your version of the revenge game against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, definitely. My version. That was on my list. That was one of them.
So something it's really exciting to watch. We can talk about players individually. I just wanted to go over some things, just overarching themes as a team. We're 11th in rebounding and rebound percentage. We're up there among the top half of the league as well. So I'm seeing not necessarily maybe a change in trend in rebounding, but it looks like we're more aggressive on the glass, which is good because obviously that was our one of the worst weaknesses that we had coming from last
all
year.
sorts of
And
good
before
rankings
that, we're second overall in defensive rating,
Yep.
which is great. We're defending, we're versatile, and we're just like looking really good top to bottom. Our bench is really strong. We have a lot of other things. We're still among league leaders. I think we're second in the league in opponent 3-point percentage, which has clearly just become a staple of Brad's defensive scheme. So I'm excited about all the pieces I'm seeing. The biggest thing I saw this week is Al Horford really came into his own as his defensive contributions. He locked down in 4 different games. He locked down Ben Simmons and Embiid on separate occasions when he played Philly. He locked down Kristaps Porzingis when we played the Knicks, and he also locked down Giannis, who was the biggest one, or as good as you possibly could.
Great game.
As good as you possibly could. As
for
good as
all
you
of our
possibly could.
defenders.
And I've been really impressed with him, his awareness, and just his leadership has really taken another step. And people that very commonly and frequently look down on him because of his inability to contribute statistically are really becoming to realize what his contributions are to the team outside of the counting stats. So I'm really excited about them. What you got? Any players or the team's overarching themes? What do you want
I'm with you. I want to echo that for sure. Like, a lot of people were down on him. What do you call it? Lou Merloni from
Average Al.
WWE. He was calling him Average Al. He
that's
doesn't
right.
even, it's
He
kind of
called
even
him
watch
Average Al
basketball.
just before the Bucks game.
When we got him, first of all, Al was one of the greatest free agent acquisitions in the past.
But we were down on him
20,
in a
25.
lot of ways,
Yeah, of
too.
course we
and
were.
Average Al,
But he
I
was-
think I would have called him
He was
Average Al
averaging
last
16
year.
and 6 when we got him.
No, I know.
And there's a
playing
reason
really
why he
well.
doesn't rebound that
Contributions
much. He
don't
was
pop off the
hitting. He
page.
was hitting a lot more 3-pointers
he's away from the hoop.
when he started to
playing great.
transition to that sort of inside-outside. But I really like the chemistry that he was forming with Kyrie. I think he made Kyrie feel a lot more comfortable as well, because Kyrie was kind of forcing shots for a little bit.
Yep.
But once he started trying to create and not just shoot all the time, he saw Al spacing the floor really well. Al plays so well without the ball.
Oh my God,
And he
it's incredible.
plays. He knows how to space the floor. Just like he knows on back screens how to find somebody who's wide open. I really like the way those two are playing. We need that very much so right now, especially with Gordon out. So those two, they're coming into their own together. Meanwhile, it's letting some of the fringe players and some of the supporting cast play less of a role and feel less pressure.
Right,
I felt
that's big, that's
Jaylen Brown was kind of feeling a little bit more pressure to be the guy.
Right.
And Uncle Mike said something about that last week. Like, I don't know if he's ready to be
Right.
every
He looked good in
game
the
be
beginning,
that
and
guy.
it's
2 for 10
tailed
and 1
off.
for 7.
you know,
You know what they threw out there on the Celtics channel was, and I think I got it, is they said they were throwing all these nicknames for Jason Brown, Jaylen,
Yeah.
and they're going.
You got the nickname?
I think I do, because they're
that's
just
it.
with that, the J crew. They're going,
Yeah.
and they actually had Tatum and Brown on going nah, and they're going all these things. How about the J team?
The J team.
The J team, and when the J team is playing the J game, wow, right? So
Wow.
So the J team this week.
I don't know if that's going to fly.
Oh, I love it. I love
J
it.
team sounds like Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blunt after
Well,
a couple
hey,
of.
along that, you hear what Adam Silver is saying? What they're saying now? They're gonna take it off the
substances list.
yeah, they're gonna take it off the list.
Not
and they're
Silver,
calling
Stern.
it. They're saying, and
Stern said
Adam
that.
Silver is saying, I'm really in favor of and Al Harrington. I guess he owns a pot factory or something or whatever it is. And
That wasn't
Allegedly.
and
You
he
gotta
talks
put
about how
allegedly
he used
around
pot
that.
to heal a knee injury. And
Okay.
Adam Silver goes, yeah, I'm really starting to lean towards making medical marijuana for these guys? You gotta be kidding me.
that's not
They'll have a
Silver.
medical
Oh, that was
marijuana
David
for
Stern.
hernia.
That was
No,
David
sprained
Stern.
ankle. Well, what is medical marijuana going to handle? Come on, will you deal with it? It's going to be recreational marijuana if you come out with it for the.
Well, all the players.
And I love Adam Silver, but
It's not Adam
That
Silver.
was David
It was David Stern. It was David Stern. It wasn't Adam Silver. It was
I know David Stern did come out and said I'm reversing that, but then Adam Silver endorsed it. And Adam Silver's the one that said medical marijuana.
Well, here's the thing. If you have a
But
Denver
the J
Nuggets,
team, I guess it could be
yeah,
that.
it could be misconstrued. It could
But
be
do you guys remember the A
misconstrued.
team? No.
I know the A team.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course,
that's what I
of
think was
course.
the J team.
I was thinking, just to bounce
Yeah.
back on the nickname idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
So because they're very smart players, I was thinking, and shout out to Smitty, Eric Smith, and I were talking about this the other day, the gentleman and the scholar.
Gentleman and the scholar.
I'm not going to call him either of those.
Jalen-
Those guys
Scholar's
can do
Jalen
that.
Brown.
Jalen, yeah, of course,
And the
because
gentleman and
Jalen's
the
a lot.
scholar. That's
Yeah.
too much. The J team's easy. Isn't it?
It's
Shot
less-
right down.
It's
And
less
then you can
syllables.
say
It's
they
less
had the J
syllables.
game.
Shot right
It's
down.
less syllables.
You don't like it.
I'm all right with
So,
Well, we should dump a little more on Jaylen Brown because he went 2 for 10 and 1 for 7 and didn't score in the first three quarters. He didn't have any hoops.
If he finished that dunk
And he
on
was
Giannis, he
rushing
was
his
going to score.
shots,
He
and
was
he
going to
was-
score 30 that game if he finished that dunk on Giannis in the first quarter. If he dunked on Giannis, he would have scored 30
That's
that
what
game.
he would have scored 30.
Yeah.
On his
Damn, so I'm
21st
telling you.
birthday game, he played
went off.
amazing.
He's good.
Amazing.
He's good.
And then they asked him,
But
you
it's the
know,
last 2 games, he's 3 for 18.
He came in and he was expected to have what he thought a huge role in this team, and he did. Like you said, he did put a lot of pressure on himself, and he met that pressure, and he accepted it, and he played well.
I'd like to talk more about the Celtics, too.
What do you mean? We're still here. We're still
Good,
doing
okay.
it. We're done.
How about Aaron Baines? And
yeah.
Al Horford is saying that Aaron Baines
Great rim protector.
is contributing to his ability to rebound because he's keeping the big guys away from Horford.
He's
as he
bodying
rebounds.
him. He's
And
bodying him
rebound-
up.
And Horford is rebounding better.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll call the play of the year this so far
Play of the
is
year.
Giannis
Okay.
coming down the middle. That was going to be the greatest dunk in history. When he was so far up, he was 3/4 of the way up the backcourt. He's coming at
greatest
Aaron
dunk of
Baines,
history.
and Aaron Baines
the block?
stands his ground, goes up. floors him,
Yeah.
and stops the shot. That
Yeah.
was an amazing
Puts his
play.
body on the line.
Ben's could have been seriously hurt on that play,
Oh,
too.
that
I was,
an amazing play.
my breath
And then you got
was...
Scal, and they're all talking about it now. This is a new term, and the levels of verticality.
Yeah.
And Scal goes, the greatest verticality player in the history of the game is Aaron Baines. What? That's what he's saying. That's what Scal says.
Scal's wild.
He's wild. He loves verticality.
Scal might have been
That
I
matters.
haven't even thought of verticality before I heard it.
Scal was hanging out with the J team when he said that.
To be able to contest a shot and be a valuable
He's a rim
protector.
protector without being able to block
Right.
shots.
Right, exactly. That's where verticality comes into play. So like going straight up and being able to elevate
I love his role.
and maintain where you are in your own space without infringing on the opponent's space is great. That's a great skill that not that many players have, and he's definitely up there. That's something, even though I hate Draymond Green, that's something that he's good at.
Don't hate him.
So that's a skill.
Oh, it's so easy to hate Draymond Green.
Very necessary
But-
player. That team's not the same without him.
These
I
past,
think Baines did a great job helping out with Giannis too on the switches.
Hits his shot.
It looks like the way that-
Semi came in and bodied
God,
up
yeah.
Giannis a little
Little
bit
bit.
too.
it looks like
But
the way
Baines is hitting his shot too.
Yeah.
If he's got an open 15,
As long as it's
he's hitting that
14
thing.
to 16, I think that's.
You know what I was saying about
limit.
Jaylen Brown, and it's different with Tatum. When Tatum misses a shot, it's like, or he misses a couple of shots, whoa, he's got a problem. When Jaylen Brown misses shots, to me, it's completely normal.
I don't.
Completely normal when he's
I don't think
missing
so.
shots. It is, and Tatum's shot is so much better. I mean,
No.
he's an elite defender, Brown. He's going to be real. You don't think
I'm
Tatum's
happy-
shot is
I'm-
better than Brown's?
Well, Jalen has better.
But I don't
form.
think Jalen.
Jaylen Brown has better form.
I think you're underrating
No, you're wrong.
Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's shot has really come a long way,
Have
and he
you
shoots
watched
it.
the last 2 games?
Yeah. Have you watched the first?
Yeah.
Have you watched all 6 games?
Well, I don't
I
think
mean,
he's hit a good
Jason's
percentage
been
of
missing
his
shots
threes.
too.
What?
but
You think he's hit a decent percentage of his threes? I think he's way off on his threes.
He was
think-
45% right up until 2 games ago.
I think his
Well,
corner.
2 games, and then it's early in the season.
was
and he
45%
goes
through
3 for
5
18,
games.
and a couple of the points were in garbage time, and he was missing wide open shots. And
Your perspective on him fluctuates so much in terms
Well,
of
not
recency
really.
bias. Oh my God, you were so high on him.
No,
3
he's an
games in,
elite
and now you're so
defender.
low
He's an
on him.
elite
It's
defender.
up and down.
I'm not up and down on him. I think he's a really good player. I
Jalen's-
just don't think he's a dependable second scorer, and that's what I'm leaning on.
Jalen
think he
looks
can.
like
I
the
think Al
most
Horford's
improved
stepping
player.
up as a second scorer, and I think Tatum scored more points than Norman Brown now. Yes.
I don't think he'll finish the year scoring more points than Jalen.
It looks like a scorer to me.
But Tatum has looked incredible. Tatum looks like a way.
How many games are you going to let Jason Brown go before you? If he goes 2 more games this week and he doesn't shoot well, can you finally say something about it?
I'm
Now
gonna,
you sound
he's-
like Tommy
he's,
Hunt-
He's
Hunt.
inconsistent in terms of his shooting ability. Is
he's
not
an
firm.
inconsistent
Pat.
shooter, but he's a real good.
I want him shooting every single open jump shot he has. Why would you not want him to take
I
taking
just
those
don't expect
shots?
him to go in.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to because eventually they will. I'm perfectly fine with that, and I'm in for it. But
You
something
don't,
that
you don't
Some
get
guys are
better
never
if you
gonna
don't
be
take the
shooters.
shot.
What?
Some guys are never going to be shooters.
He's gonna be a shooter.
Jason Tatum is a shooter.
Jaylen Brown will be a
Jaylen Brown may
shooter.
never be a shooter.
he's going to be a shooter.
He's an
He's
inside
going to be a shooter.
outside.
He's
He's
going to
gonna
be a shooter. Yeah,
Yes.
he's a Morey ball shooter. He's going to be a shooter.
When you get out there and you're actually playing with these guys, I don't care what kind of a shot you got. When you get the pressure on and things are happening, some guys just don't hit shots.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to consistently hit shots. I'll stick with that. He's
Okay.
not going to consistently stick the outside shot. He's not.
All the shots he missed in the last game were in the first half. He was hitting them in the second half.
He only made 1 hoop.
I bet you.
Two games.
4 foul shots.
2 games
He only
ago.
made 2 hoops.
I bet you $5 he finishes the season averaging over
Boy, you want your $2 back in a hurry. You want it back in one fell swoop.
You
don't
focus
you?
way too much on the bad games, man.
36% from the 3-point line. 36%.
This week?
No, the year.
Year.
Oh, I was thinking of a bigger
That's
pay
a
than
long
that.
time. You
But
better write it down.
That's why I said $5.
I'll go 36% on the three.
36%,
On the three, he's not going to
over.
shoot 36%.
Did you make that?
I don't
How,
think he
how
is.
much money was that?
$5.
All right, let's write that down.
I mean, we can look back. Another thing I just want to talk about Kyrie real quick.
I do too.
He really started to come into his own in terms of the wow factor. He hasn't had the full chain of just explosive crossover move, and then a shot, and then another thing. He's had a couple where you see stints, and you're like, oh, this is what we're going to get sooner or later. But he's coming in, and
yeah.
he looks really impressive, and he won us that Miami game because they were coming back in, and we really needed that up and under layup, followed by the IT-esque pull-up three off the screen immediately with contact.
An equal play of the
sequence.
week with Baines was when Kyrie was trapped with a couple players,
Ha,
and he
yeah.
had 2 guys, and he spun
Brogdon.
through two guys that were playing him tight. That was magic.
Brogdon
I don't know
is-
how he split them.
That was
it's
amazing
like he
play.
split up.
Yeah.
Split it
so
to an
tough to
extent where he was now wide open. He left the guys in
It's
the
like he
dark
got
with him.
gobbled up, and then they somehow like
Beautiful.
burped him
No,
out.
he's incredible.
What I like is he's now
And
not
then the
looking,
soft touch at the end of
he's
it.
not looking for much early in the clock right
No, he
now,
isn't.
which is really pretty cool for him. And I liked how he played last game too. And I will be up and down on him because I'm experiencing him for the first time.
I think that he's really allowing himself to ease into the offense, and you can tell that he's being attentive to a lot of detail, and you can tell that he's doing his best to learn the plays and other people's tendencies on his team. And I think that we're just scratching the surface in terms of his offensive ability in Brad's offense. And there's going to be aspects of the season where he's going to have 5 games straight where he scores 32 plus and he goes off, but he's still getting 7 or 8 assists. I think he's going to blow up at a certain point and for several different points across the season. And I think this is just the beginning. These 2 stretches that we've seen this
So
past
I'm
2
hearing
games.
a lot of Bill Belichick and Brad right now. And I think he's been to Belichick's
Yeah,
practices.
we talked
and he
about
does
that,
it. So in the huddle, he goes and they come in. He says, "Look, he goes defensively. You all have a job to do. Every single time you have a job to do. Every single time you're on defense, all 5 years have a job to do. Let's get that job done out there." And I've seen it 3 or 4 times. I think Stevens has done an amazing job with that team in terms of how little prep they had with preseason and practice time going into the season and how together that unit is. And when you look at some of the other good teams in the league, whether it's San Antonio or the Golden State Warriors, or that haven't quite come together yet, it's Stevens. Stevens, he's
And
really
the
continues-
players too, just to bounce back on that, like they're saying the right things in the post game press conferences or even just the interviews on the sidelines. Like Jaylen Brown saying, we're happy for the win, but we're not fully satisfied. We're trying to
He
play as
drew
a
up a couple
team.
beauties.
Horford was saying,
that's all.
Horford was talking about Giannis. He's talking about like every shot that he made, he earned. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just make them earn every basket.
That was a tough-
especially if
that
they're
was a tough
going to
play.
play.
That was a tough
This
play.
game is a key situation, and Miami's got the ball out of bounds under their own hoop, and he subs 2 bigs. I think Horford and Baines come in for smaller guys, and Denise goes, "What the heck is he doing that for? Why is he bringing in a couple little guys?" And what did he do? He knew enough. He knew what their rebounds play was going to be, and that it was going to go to Winslow or somebody in the middle. That's what, with 3 seconds or 1 second left on the clock, that it was going to the middle, and he put Baines in the middle and put Horford on the ball, so it was a loop pass, and Baines blocked the shot.
Yeah.
That's
What
really
about that
good
one
coaching.
play where I think they had like 0.6 seconds left in the half, and they brought in Kyrie and brought in Al,
It was
and
just so obvious.
Kyrie just shot like
Perfect pass.
he put it exactly where it needed to be for the little alley oop
easy-
right off the
an easy
bank.
lob.
And Horford just,
Good
you
game
can tell he's
tonight.
just happy.
Be a nice game tonight.
Spurs, yeah, I agree.
Although
We'll
they're
see how we
sliding a
play.
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen when you're dealing with low-level personnel. Eventually, it's going to fall back into place a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
you can only perform at such a high level for so long. Obviously, Pop is the number one reason that they're
When's
succeeding.
Kawhi
but
Leonard coming back? A long time?
I think he's going to come back against the Warriors on Thursday.
Really?
I think that's when he's going to play. I think they're going to try
We're
to take
going
it
to
to
have
him.
a
I think
Marcus
they're trying to
Morris sighting this week?
I don't know, but it's pretty funny. So I think that, I forget who was talking about it, but they said that these twins have such a innate just awareness of one another, and they haven't played a single game. It was something like the last 2 years or something like that. If one misses a game, the other one misses a game.
But Marquise Morris
And
still
just-
got fined $25,000.
Oh my God!
For leaving the bench.
Oh, can we talk about that? Oh, that just boils me. It just
Yeah.
boils me to the brim about how annoyed Draymond is that he only got fined $25,000. Okay, so you watch the play. So for those who do not watch, the Wizards played the Warriors. The Wizards were whomping the Warriors, and the Warriors are really good, so they came back and they won by 3. But I think it was a third. I think it was a third. I think it was a
I
third.
gave you a shot.
I think it was the third quarter. Bradley Beal on the Wizards are on offense is getting boxed out by Draymond Green. The play is over. Transition is going to start. The ball's turning, and Draymond Green gives him a wrestling move elbow to the sternum as hard as he possibly can, right into his chest. Turns and approaches him with a stance like they're gonna wrestle. And so Beal responds with a wrestling move and kind of hugs him and hits him with kind of a graze on the way around, which is a very unusual punch to even exist. But anyway, They literally
I don't know
end
why
up
they don't just punch. If you're going to punch,
Yeah,
just
punch,
punch.
just punch.
So you're gonna put all the blame on Draymond
No, I'm not
Green.
putting any blame. I'm not putting all the blame. I'm putting it's 50-50. They started a disagreement, and you could tell that it was just a fight. It was a quabble that was started by both of them, and then they just bear hugged, wrestled each other to the ground, and you couldn't see because there was 13
And
people
what
on
was
top
this
of them,
thing that was
and they were
slightly
fighting.
like a punch?
Oh, that was funny. So then John Wall comes over to help. He's the first player there, but then Kelly Oubre, a little bit slower than John Wall, gets there
know.
second.
They all get
Kelly
points.
Oubre tries to take a left hook, tries to hit another player on the Warriors, misses, hits John Wall in the back of the head, but on the follow through bounces off John Wall's head and hits like Clay right in the center of the face, but with like a whissy punch. So like Clay just saw it and was like, "What was that?" And then literally Oubre looked at him and like waved at him because he didn't mean to punch Clay, so he felt bad.
So Beal got 50 grand.
Yeah,
on
so
that.
Beal got fined 50 grand. Draymond got fined 25 grand. Marquise Morris and another player on the Wizards got suspended because they walked 5 feet
Was
from the bench.
Marquise Morris in uniform?
Marquise Morris, no, he was in street clothes.
still got fined.
Yeah, so
They should get suspended, though. You can't run across the court and jump into a fight like that.
Okay, so if they get suspended, the people that initiated the fight should also get suspended. I'm not saying that
Oh, they're
Draymond
big-
Green
they're
should
big
be,
stars.
and Beal should be suspended too. They should both
He
be
played the
suspended
next
for their
night.
game. And the fact that Draymond thinks it's some preposterous amount of a fine that he got 25 grand, he had the least drastic
Well,
punishment out of everyone
Draymond,
involved.
things happen to Draymond, and he's got a whole different set
my
of what
God.
happened.
So bad.
In his eyes,
He antagonized the whole situation. It was obviously him. Everyone's like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't him this time."
in
It was
his
so obvious it was him.
eyes, he boxed out Bradley Beal, and he got punched in the head twice by Bradley Beal.
Yeah, in his eyes, he has no clue
and
what's
you
going
see
on.
the replay. Everybody sees the replay that he's got his arm wrapped around Bradley Beal for whatever reason. Of course, Beal's not going to react favorably to that.
I wish Beal socked him. I wish it was more
He
blatant.
probably
Oh my
could
God.
take him too, because Draymond, I'm
such a
sure
I
I
just
he's
just think
not a
Draymond's
good
got
fighter.
game. I think he's got a game that really works.
God, I hate that guy.
I know, and so does Shea, so
getting
I'm
people's
all
heads. Getting
overpowered.
people's
I
heads.
got to watch him closer. I know, I've seen some dirty plays.
Well, at least Uncle Mike's got Billy on his side.
Yes.
That's this one.
All right, let's spin the wheel.
All right.
Oh, stupid. 25 grand.
Can't believe I'm wearing a Clippers uniform.
It's
right
nice.
now.
It's nice. I like it. Okay,
Grizz.
Memphis Grizzlies. So we'll talk about these guys for a little bit. These guys are ranked one spot above the Celtics in the ESPN power rankings. They're 5-1.
Only defeat to the Mavs.
So yes, that's right. Your team. So Dallas,
the Mavs beat them.
Dallas Mavericks to beat them, but they have wins.
played pretty well.
They have wins against the Rockets and the Warriors. So my take on it is it's a fluke. I still have this team out of the playoffs. If you look across the last 3 years, there's only one team in the entire league that has a winning record against the Rockets and the Warriors combined, and it's the Memphis Grizzlies. And they just play well against those two teams. They match
Two
up.
good teams to play well against.
Yes, it's great, but they don't perform well against other teams. I think that this team still is missing some pieces. Ben McLemore is still out with injury and is still coming back. They have a couple other guys. Their big guy that they just brought back as a restricted free agent, JaMychal Green, got hurt the first game, so he hasn't played. But if you take a look into their roster, outside of Conley and Gasol, who are playing again at the highest possible level that they could be playing at this point in their career.
And Conley's my guy and not your guy, right?
Past them, yeah. I'm pretty indifferent on Conley. I like Gasol.
Nobody's
a little
as
bit
big
more.
on him as you are.
Yeah, you love him, but and he looks like a nomad with his hairdo and his beard. He looks crazy. But anyway,
No match.
I think that they're playing so well, and Conley's been iffy. I just don't trust their ability to continue to string together so many games against teams of equal caliber to the Warriors and the Rockets that aren't the Rockets. I think they're going to take tough losses to some bad teams. Their depth is an issue. Chandler Parsons came in and had the best game of his Grizzlies career, but he's going to fall back off the face of the moon because he's awful. And
He's not. He's been good in the past.
He's been good 2-3 years ago before he got
know if
injured
he's
6
awful.
times and started dating Kardashians.
They're never
it's
never going to be
Kardashians
healthy.
too.
I don't know. Someone in
I'm
Hollywood.
not worried about their consistency on a talent level. I'm worried about them staying out there.
Yeah,
It's-
that's
it
another
seems like
thing.
brittle bones. And
That's-
I love watching them play.
Really?
I love Gasol.
Why?
I don't-
Why do you like watching
because
them? They have a bad pace.
It's the grit and grind game.
It's gone. The grit and grind is gone. That's not how they
it's
play
It's not all
anymore.
about pace.
At
You can watch the
5-1.
other 29 whatever teams.
5-1, the grit and grind is alive and well while they're 5-1.
I don't
but I
want
agree
all
with you.
pace. I
agree with you.
like their half court game.
I mean, they
I
have,
like the
like,
way they open up for each
They
other.
have Mario
Gasol's a
Chalmers
good
as their
passer.
antagonizer. Yeah. Okay. So
They should get Bledsoe.
I agree with you, Shea.
something I've come around to is I used to be pretty down on Gasol, but watching Gasol more and more, I'm beginning to like him and appreciate him more and more.
love Gasol.
His style is just so transcendent in terms of his ability to affect the game. He has a lot of Al Horford in him, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
bigger.
he's 6 inches, 7 inches bigger. So he can dominate in a whole different way than Horford.
It's not that much bigger.
Isn't Gasol's like 7'2"?
Yeah, no, Gasol's about 6'11".
Gasol's
Horford's
over
6'10".
Horford's like 6'9".
6'11".
Gasol's like 7.
Okay, so whatever
Horford-
math. So
Horford's
4 inches. Sorry.
Okay.
My fault, guys. I said 6 instead of
That
4.
wasn't like
I
a-
apologize.
that wasn't like a Bill Walton Uncle Mike thing.
Yeah, I apologize. My guy. But anyway,
a little Rodman in you
but
today.
he's so exciting to watch because and it's something that I think he's been struggling with injuries his entire career. But it's so interesting because he really doesn't exert himself that much. If you watch him in the post, it's all finesse. If you watch him on defense, he's staying grounded. He doesn't leap. He doesn't reach unnecessarily.
Good
He doesn't
footwork.
flail his body. So like I think that he can stay on the court, and I think that'll be fine because they play better when Gasol's on the court and Conley isn't. But the entire rest of the roster makes me nervous. So I'm attributing all of their success,
I'm with you.
all of their success to Gasol and Fizdale. I like Fizdale. I think he's a good coach. I'm interested in him. I think he does a good job with
good
their lineups.
coaching going on out there.
There is good coaching.
Yeah.
It's something I've noticed.
Orlando with
Vogel? Yeah. Well, because he
Doing
came
real
in and he was supposed to help them defensively. In the first season, it didn't show at all.
Hey, did you
And
see
they
where
were all
Bledsoe
over the
was
place.
offered for Malcolm Brogdon and Milwaukee said no?
Yeah.
And Bledsoe was offered for Frankie Cigarettes and Herman Gomez,
they said
and the
no.
Knicks said no.
Yep, that happened as well. I agree.
I thought that might happen.
We can touch on that a little bit. So I think that the Celtics could get involved. We're not going to land Bledsoe, but I think that the Celtics could get involved. I saw someone touch on this, and it would be us using our disabled player exception that we got from Gordon Hayward's tragic injury.
Oh, is he on his last year, Bledsoe?
Bledsoe's, no, he has 2 years left in the contract, but we wouldn't be getting him. I think that we would be brought in to facilitate a deal.
Oh, like a three-way deal?
Yes. So I think we were brought in if they try to work a deal to the Thunder, or they try to work a deal to the Nuggets, or they try to work a deal to maybe it is the Bucks. And there's always some type of hang-up or player, especially in those situations where the Nuggets have a lot of pieces, and it's going to be which pieces does that team want back. And I think that we can jump in, offer up a draft pick or two, and then pick up a Tyson Chandler or a Kenneth Faried or a Darrell Arthur.
He's not even playing.
Or Darrell, but
Yeah,
on
no,
the
no,
Celtics,
I mean,
would that
that's a
not be
good
a
thing.
valuable player on the Celtics to get pick up for nothing?
Well,
you know?
the one that was thrown out this week that I hadn't really thought about and didn't know his contract situation, that sounds the best to me in that $8.4 million exception. And I don't know how you guys feel, is Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay. I think he wants to earn his money there. I think that he has a home in Dallas, and when he's on the court, they play their best when he's on the court. I don't know what Carlisle is really trying to do when he plays Dwight Powell over him, because I don't really see. I think Dwight Powell is just atrocious, and he doesn't give the new age style of ball of rim running and playing in the pick and roll
So how do you
and
get a
defending
player
the
like
rim
that?
like Nerlens
Why
is.
is he available? How could the Celtics get him?
You have to
trade?
Yeah, you'd have to send. We'd have to send like draft picks. It would just be draft picks. We'd have to send like 2 second-round picks for him.
Okay.
So it could happen. We're
Better than Joe Green, I think.
done with the wheel. We'll talk about the ESPN's first power rankings, or maybe their second power rankings, or whatever, for the week of the 30th. So they got the Rockets on top.
They got the Rockets on top.
Warriors are number 2. Spurs.
ESPN is
Spurs are
sliding.
3. I think they're sliding too.
The Warriors are number 2?
Warriors are 2. Spurs are 3.
Oh, they're so far off.
Clippers are 4. Grizzlies are 5. Celtics
Clips.
are 6. Cavs are 7. Raptors are 8. Bucks are 9. Blazers, Thunder, Magic are 12. T-Wolves, Wizards, Pistons, Nuggets. Pistons best record in the East right now at 5-2.
And playing well.
Are only at 15. Yeah.
Well, I watched them. They looked really good last night.
Pretty interesting. There's only been 3 teams in the past year that have including this season so far and last season, that have beaten the Warriors on their second night of the back-to-back, and it's us twice and the Pistons. And Avery Bradley's the common factor in all 3 of those games. So I think he's a solver, and he straps up.
With him. Who's their third guy? They had 3 guys in there.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson is a third one that was out there with them.
Luke Kennard, I don't know.
No.
Ish Smith, the really fast
Oh
kid.
yeah, Ish Smith.
He's so
they had
fast.
the 3 of them out there.
He's really fast.
Man, they were ball hawks.
Yeah.
They were all over it, and they look like that would be consistent on that team. Their hands are quick.
That's a fun
sliding,
team. Drummond looks good. He looks more limber.
And Harris, he's an all-star right now.
No.
He's an all-star
Well,
right
if
now.
they
Right now,
okay,
after 6 games,
So
he's
is
an all-star.
Jalen Brown.
If they have
So is Jalen Brown.
if they have,
Not compared to Mars. I mean, not
it's
Harris. Harris has played much better.
if they're the
than Jalen
number
Brown.
1 seed in the conference, he'll
Brown's
be an
not
all-star.
all-star
But they're
right
not
now.
going to be. They're going to be like an 8 or 9 seed. So he's not going to be an all-star.
Who,
because
Detroit?
Harris, yeah, Detroit.
I think Detroit looks pretty well. He's a decent coach. He can get him to play.
I've always liked Stan Van.
I think I like what I saw last night. I mean, what's not to like, but I mean, they could have easily lost that game.
I like Boban. Boban needs to play more.
Bogdanovich.
Marjanovic.
Yeah.
Marjanovic.
Marjanovic.
I can't keep up with the
All the
But
itches.
those rankings are really. I would have to say, you guys probably won't agree because it's a team that I've been with from the beginning. I think the Clippers are playing really well.
They're
They
number
are.
4.
They're really well.
Yeah,
four.
I think they played better than the 3 top teams.
You think the Clippers should be number 1 on the ESPN?
I think they played better.
I think they're top 3.
When you look at
for
what
sure.
teams have played the best right now, I know they just got beat, but they look really
undefeated.
strong.
I know, I like them.
And so is Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin looks fantastic.
Clippers, I think, are
and,
stronger
Hey,
than the
MVP
Spurs right
pick is
now.
not looking super crazy.
It's
right
not
now.
looking that bad right now.
I don't think he will be, but he's going to be in the running. He's going to be in the running, and I
Well,
think,
you guys come a long way with that. Oh, sure, you've come a long way with that.
well, I just made a funny face. I think he could be finished top 10, but like I don't know.
I think they have the
the
Wizards
running,
way
it's not
too
top
low.
10.
The Wizards are 4-2, and they're 1 game away from being.
but the Wizards
have
another
looked
pretty
bad,
good,
though.
Another pretty good
Yeah,
grudge game.
But they
was-
almost won that game. John Wall didn't get a call at the end of the
Yeah.
game.
But how about the Lakers game? I enjoyed that game.
I picked that game.
You picked that game.
should be 5-1.
And the Wizards.
No, they shouldn't, 'cause
when
they
you
should-
see
they
a
should've
game
lost
like
to Philly.
that,
They're 1
They
play
should've lost
away
to
from
Philly.
being 5-1.
I think the Wizards might have one of the best balanced starting fives in the league.
No, they do. They do, for
But
sure.
they
really
you
trail
see a
off.
game against the Lakers, which was the hype was crazy with Wall and LeVar and
There's going to be a lot of hoopla.
But then who won? The Lakers beat them. That's ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
partly
Walker-
because Wall didn't get a call, though.
Yeah, no,
I
he
guess,
didn't
but
get
just
fouled.
to
He
be
didn't
in
get
that
fouled.
position.
He didn't get fouled. He
Just to
up-faked
be in
and
that
made
position.
a-
That was something.
He made a goofy little flail trying to draw the foul. Lonzo was straight up, didn't foul him.
How'd you like his sweater?
How do I like what?
Well, a Wall sweater.
His
With a monster of some sort of a beast on it, off this $500 Armani sweater.
It sounds great. I didn't see
I
it.
didn't really go for it, but it was pretty cool.
There's some weird fashion. Something you notice
Yeah.
is all rookies, they just wear like Boston Celtics sweatpants.
Okay,
sweatshirt.
okay.
They never wear crazy stuff.
Sort of come into
I-
that.
Rondo
Yeah.
looked good again. He's my number 1 fashion
Dennis
guy.
Rodman
Always
never
will be.
used to even dye
He's
his
on the
hair.
bench, but Rondo's
when
still-
Dennis
it's-
Rodman was a rookie, he looked like just a
a
skinny
normal
kid.
human being.
But
normal
let's not
person.
try too hard like Westbrook, but Rajon Rondo, he's got taste, boy. That guy
got
can,
taste.
He can dress. He can dress.
Bottom of the things, we got the 76ers are down at 23, and then the Kings, Lakers, Knicks, Mavs, Suns, Hawks, Bulls are the worst team in the league according to this. So I kind of agree with their bottoms. I would have had the Knicks a little bit lower. I think they just put them up there just because
the Knicks on a hot
they beat the
streak.
Cavs. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not for it.
76ers seem low. I
No, seem low. They've played-
I like the
they've-
way that they're playing.
They played really well. All right,
I
so
do too, because the games they lost, but that was an awful game they lost when they were 8 points up with 51 seconds left, and Houston beat them with Gordon's 3 on the buzzer.
Well,
that was a
okay,
real-
Embiid got fouled. Harden
Oh,
pushed.
you guys-
Harden pushed Embiid.
Hey.
Embiid couldn't contest the shot. It was a foul. They didn't call the foul. You want to talk about fouls?
you guys
man?
throwing
That
at
was
me
a
that
foul.
I'm like, it's my turn next. Oh, he got fouled. Oh, he got fouled.
got
We
fouled.
both tried it.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, it seems like they're
Yeah, what's the game?
dictating
Sometimes
the
it's
end
foul.
of the game.
Sometimes it's not a foul. That time, Embiid
And
would have contested the shot. He would've missed
why
it.
would the team have Embiid playing Gordon?
Because he's huge. He has like a 9'6"
But he can't come out and
reach.
play him,
He's
and
their
the
best
ball fell
defender.
through him right
He's
off the
fast.
ball.
No, there wasn't enough time. There was only a second left. He
He
knew
should
that it was
have
a
held
three.
his ground. He was
knew-
that big. He didn't have to jump.
He got
lost
pushed from behind. It was so obvious that was
Oh,
a foul. He
okay,
couldn't
okay.
jump it. He tried to jump it. He still
We saw
contested the
2
shot.
different games.
You saw it incorrectly.
We both saw it the way we wanted.
You're getting D-Rod fired up again.
Yeah, like crazy. All right. All right. So we're gonna jump to medals this upcoming week. I think I don't know.
Oh.
20
You're gonna
games.
screw me out of a
This
medal
is
again
tough,
this
boy.
week?
This is
Okay.
hard.
So tonight, San Antonio at Boston. I don't think Kawhi is playing. I picked Boston.
I'm going to go with the flow and say San Antonio.
I think we're.
It's just happening.
I think the Celtics
I'm going to try it this week. I'm going for the
are
medal.
due for a loss. They're gonna lose to San Antonio.
You guys stink. Philly at Houston. Revenge game for Mike. At Houston this time instead of at Philly. Is Gordon gonna hit another buzzer beater? Is Embiid gonna get fouled?
Philly.
I also picked Philly.
I like how they're playing
Houston.
too. But he can't shoot.
I'm going
too.
against the
Simmons
grain.
is missing some shots.
That's okay. Who cares? It's the same. It's the same
balls.
notion that Giannis can succeed with.
Wow,
He's
two,
fine.
two of you go for the 23rd ranked team
Yeah.
over the
Well,
second ranked.
you got to go with the flow. Look what happened.
Clearly,
last
you're not
week.
ESPN members.
So look what happened last week.
Okay, Orlando at the
Yeah,
Pelicans.
I tied for
Orlando
the
at
win.
the Pelicans. No, you lost. Tiebreaker.
Pelicans.
I really
I
like
feel queasy
Orlando,
about
and
that
you got to throw me some more on Fournier. He's playing consistently well.
I'm not throwing you.
How
more.
about Aaron Gordon with those dunks that game? What did he score?
Yeah,
41?
He does that. He does.
41.
He does that.
Oh
He
My
does
God,
that.
I've never seen him
he's
dunk
playing
like
well.
that.
He's playing pretty consistently well.
He's got a smooth stroke
dunks,
now.
but
You know, I got to
also-
comment on the dunk
But he's hitting
contest.
threes.
Yeah,
He's hitting a lot
and
of
it's a
threes.
smooth
He's
stroke,
looking
and
good.
it's quick release,
He's
too.
looking good.
They're
I like
coaching
him.
him well.
So that combination.
He's a
and the
front.
coaching's good.
He's a front
And
runner now for
Fournier-
most improved player.
Fournier is 23 a night.
Yeah. Okay. Toronto at Portland Trailblazers.
Portland home floor.
Portland, McCollum's playing really well.
Yeah,
That one game where it was AD went down with the left knee
Yeah.
and Boogie versus McCollum. That
try
was
to-
great.
great.
Great
I love that.
show.
That was one of the best games I've seen.
that was
so.
entertaining.
What is it?
No, we got a lot of games too.
I just wanted to say Damian Lillard really has not been performing well. He's averaging 23 points a game, but he's shooting below 35%. so he's
McCollum's
gonna
the
step
man
up.
there.
35% overall. Huh?
Yeah. Warriors at Clippers.
Oh, I got to go with the Clips. Look what I'm wearing.
That's very true.
I'm going to go against one. I'm going to say Golden State's going to win that one.
I also picked Golden State. Phoenix at Brooklyn. You picked Phoenix last week, and you were correct. After that dumpster fire week.
Even a squirrel.
played pretty well.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a
That's
while,
true.
right? Something like
I'm going to
that.
go with Phoenix. Is
can't
Bledsoe
believe
back?
No, he's not playing.
Oh, he's out
They're
forever.
not going to play
I
him.
can't believe I picked
I'm gonna go with
the
Phoenix.
Clippers
I-
over the
I
Warriors.
may have the
Can
worst
I
record
redo
ever.
that?
No, it's too late. It's in
no.
pen. It's in pen.
What's this one?
Phoenix at Brooklyn.
Jeez.
You got like 15 more.
Brooklyn.
Okay, Brooklyn. Okay, OKC at Milwaukee.
I'll take OKC there.
Okay, Mike.
I'm going with Milwaukee. They're my second favorite team.
Indiana at Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Indiana keeps it going downhill. So till we eventually, you guys can see that this team is having a little trouble.
You're picking Indiana.
I'm picking Indiana. I like what's happening with them
crazy
right
Just
now.
picks the opposite of what I picked.
Minnesota at
Something like that.
New Orleans Pelicans. Minnesota at New Orleans Pelicans.
Minnesota's playing a little better.
I'll take Minnesota.
Minnesota.
They're on a roll.
How can that team be playing such bad defense
Fun
with
to
Tibbs
watch.
as the
They're
coach?
so bad defensively.
And I never knew Towns was so bad defensively.
Carl Towns looks bad.
Towns
He doesn't
is a
look good. He
bad
doesn't look like he
defender.
looks-
I mean,
it's
I don't
sad.
usually jump
He
up
has
and-
the tools. He has the hands. He has the IQ.
Yeah, he got beat on a pick and roll. He was at the foul line, and he was just staring at the guy on
Yeah,
a dunk.
It's sad. It's sad.
And
I think they'll
Thibodeau,
figure it
what's
out
going on
eventually.
with Tibbs?
I don't know if I trust his coaching style. I think it might be a little bit past his prime. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Butler is a difference maker.
Jimmy Butler's looking really
He's a
good.
difference maker. It's unusual because he isn't.
He's stepping up.
He's stepping up in like an Al Horford way of stepping up because he doesn't
Yes,
really. He
definitely.
affects it in different ways than in the
Yep.
stats. So you have the Pelicans or the Timberwolves.
I'm going with the Pelicans.
Okay. Toronto at Denver.
I'll go with Denver. Mile high.
Denver as well.
Golden State Warriors at San Antonio Spurs. Thursday. This is my prediction for when Kawhi comes back.
What a good game.
San Antonio.
Me too.
Tough win.
That's crazy that all three of us picked that. All right. Cleveland at Washington.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
they still going to win 70?
They can if they want to.
It's still
Oh, that's a
possible.
little bit
They can if they want. I said the same thing last week. They can if they want to.
Okay. Keep
They haven't lost.
Cleveland
12.
at Washington. Last time they played at Washington, LeBron hit a fadeaway bank three-pointer to send it to overtime and then won in overtime.
I want to see how many games Cleveland can lose right now. So I'm going to go with
you're gonna pick
Washington.
Okay. What you
I got to
got?
go Cleveland.
Okay. Miami at Denver.
Denver.
I like Miami.
I also picked Miami, even though I
Doing
like
rapid
Denver
fire.
better.
Here. I'm either going to win
Toronto
by
at
a lot
Utah.
or lose by a lot.
Me
here.
too.
Toronto at Utah.
Toronto.
Utah.
I don't believe in
I picked
Utah.
Utah. Boston at OKC.
Boston.
OKC. I know. I suck.
Because I just picked the San Antonio to beat them, so I don't think
Memphis at the Clippers.
I'll go with you from now on that one. I'll say the Clippers are going to beat them because they only beat Houston and Golden State, so I'm going to go with the Clippers on that
The
one.
Clippers are better than them anyway.
They are.
You picked Clippers too?
Clippers are better than most.
Warriors at Denver.
Golden State.
Yeah.
Denver always
You
plays
should tell us
well.
who's playing back-to-back sometimes.
Denver always plays well. Miami at Clippers. Back-to-back for the Clippers.
Wow, Clippers have a strong week. Here.
Back-to-back for the Clippers. Yeah, tough week for the Clippers. I think we could.
Well, Miami must be playing back-to-back on that one, too.
But they're
no?
still at home, so I'll still go Clippers. I think they're gonna come
Well, I
out
already
number
picked Miami
one in
winning
this
up, so I'm going to go with the
ESPN.
Clippers, too.
ESPN
Boston
rankings
at
are
Orlando.
leading. Boston.
I think Orlando is a real sneak.
guys are
I
crazy.
like everything that's happening down there. I'm going with Orlando.
Aren't you supposed to be a homer? Washington at Toronto.
I picked Boston there.
I know. I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
You said you. guys-
Washington at Toronto. 3 more.
Well, if the J team steps up,
Washington at Toronto. I picked Washington.
Toronto.
At Washington. I have to
If
go
Washington
against
can
them.
lose in L.A.,
I have to go opposite
God.
of Billy.
they should not have lost that
Utah at
game.
Houston. Second to last one. Utah at
Houston.
Houston.
They were undefeated at the time.
Houston easy.
Utah at Houston.
Houston.
And last
When's
game.
Paul coming back?
Who cares? Memphis at Los Angeles Lakers.
Memphis.
Okay, I picked Memphis too. All right. I think that's all we have. You got any final thoughts before we depart? Are you gonna wear that? Are you gonna be ZZ Top every week?
No, but I could bring the band in one of these times, and we've been working on the wheel. We call ourselves Better Than Nothing, and we work real hard
I would
to fit that name.
Yeah, I would be
Okay.
into a live performance. I'll play some.
And Kara sings with us sometimes.
Yeah, I've invited her on the show
Cool.
to sing. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us on this Halloween. Shout out everyone that we want to shout out, I guess. I don't know. You have any shout outs? You want to shout out anyone? Shout out Delvedova? So I can shoot down your
Delhi.
shout out?
I love how they miss Delhi like they miss Kyrie.
Bye, guys.
And Malcolm Brogdon.